Hey guys, Elizabeth Johnston here. I'm a mortgage broker in California and Texas, in case you didn't know, or you're new to the channel. And today I'm cutting through all the noise because if you've been wondering what's actually happening with mortgage rates, where the housing market is headed, and whether now is the right time to buy, you are not alone, guys. There's a lot of mixed information out there, and don't worry, I've got you. Today, my video is all about breaking down the latest predictions, what experts are saying, what it all means for you, no confusing jargon, no fluff, at least I hope, and just real talk about what's going on, what you should be doing if you're thinking about buying a home. So without further ado, let's get started. So I know your first question is, where are mortgage rates now? So let's talk about it. According to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is hovering around 6.72%. Some lenders are offering slightly lower rates depending on your current score, your down payment, or your loan type. Now, if you're comparing these rates to those insane 3% rates we saw a couple years ago, yeah, these are going to seem high. But let's think about this for a second. Historically, today's rates are pretty normal. Back in the 80s, rates were over 18%. Even in the early 2000s, we were looking at 6 to 7%. So I totally get why everyone thinks these rates are high, but it's just a matter of perspective. We are back to normal pre-COVID rates. So what's next when it comes to rates? Are we getting any relief anytime soon? Well, according to Mortgage Daily News and Freddie Mac, the general consensus is that rates are going to stay in the 6% range for most of 2025 with a potential dip into the high fives later in the year. Now, the Fed is expected to cut rates at some point this year. But here's the thing, that doesn't mean mortgage rates drop overnight. And if you remember last year, they kept saying, or we kept predicting that rates were going to drop, and they didn't until what, the fourth quarter last year? But you also need to understand that the Fed is not the only thing we need to be looking at. The mortgage market reacts to economic factors like inflation and investor confidence. So it's not just the Fed. So if you're waiting for those 4% rates again, I'm just going to rip the band-aid off right now. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So I would definitely stop using that as an excuse to not purchase a home right now. So I guess your next question is, if rates aren't crashing, does that mean you should wait to buy? And honestly, no. And here's why. If rates drop, buyer demand skyrockets. So lower rates mean more buyers will flood the market, which then drives up the home prices and creates the bidding wars. And unless you want to be a part of that, now would be a great time. Home prices are actually stabilizing. So in some markets, prices, they are starting to climb up again. But if you wait too long, you could end up paying more for the same house. I know this sounds redundant, but it's true. Home prices are stabilizing. Now, if rate is your biggest concern, there are ways that you can get a lower rate now, and that's either by seller buy downs or lender buy downs. And all this does, it means that you can get a lower rate without having to wait for the market to shift. So that's why I say if rate's an issue, ask the seller if they will help pay for a buy down. Ask your lender if they have any buy downs. It's just something you can do. If you buy the home now, you can always refinance later. You already did the hard part. The hard part was getting the home, making sure you can afford it. Now you're already in it. So if the rates drop, you don't have to be with everyone else trying to buy a home now. You've already got it. You just want to refinance it to a lower rate. So I would call that gravy. So here's what I think you should do if you're thinking about buying a home. I would tell you to get pre-approved now so you know what you're working with. Then I would have you explore rate buy down options because you're going to be surprised about what's available. I'm going to make sure that you keep an eye on your local market trends. Some areas are still seeing great deals. What I don't want you to do is to watch the news and they say the housing market is such and such, and it doesn't even apply to where you live. So if you're in Houston, don't be looking at New York or California. Stick to your local market is all we're going to want you to do. And your real estate agent that you're working with is going to help you with that. Also, don't try to time the market because the best time to buy is when you're financially ready, not when the news says it's a good idea. It is when you are ready. You're the one paying the bill, not them. And if you're still not sure where to start or want to see what's possible, you guys can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to run the numbers and help you figure out the best move that fits your needs and your goals. And that's all I have for you guys. If this video helped you at all, please don't forget to like and subscribe for updates and leave a comment if you have any questions. And I will see you guys in the next video.